I'm so sad. I'm so hoping we had a full class. We're proud of this stuff. Anyway, my name's Eric May. I'm Assistant Director of Information Services at CFISD. With us is John Crumley, our Director.
Good morning.
And David Clark, our programmer on this project called Onboarding. Our project was our Paperless initiative for onboarding. And I don't know, I personally don't remember signing all these paperwork when I was young because it was 28 years ago, probably before some of y'all were born. But for us, it was a lot of paper. We wanted to get rid of it, so we decided to use Laserfish and our e-finance system to help us get rid of all of our paper. That's what we call our journey for paperless onboarding. Deborah was our brilliant programmer on this project, and she's going to take you through the full journey in a minute. First, I want to tell you a little bit about CFISD if you don't know about us. We're the 22nd largest school district in the United States. In the United States, there's actually over 13,000 districts to give you an idea of reference of what size we are nowadays. We average around 18,000 employees, and this last year we hired over 3,900 new employees. So with that, we needed something to help us out, and this is what we chose. So one of our visions was to actually help HR with all the paper, save time and money, right? But the other part was actually with our form design. This is our form design we ended up on. We were hoping that with our new employees, just signing a simple little form that they would enjoy and make their life simple with a simple form to begin with. I don't know about you, but I hate signing papers. This was very easy to do, thanks to David. And then the other part was we were hoping that it would help us with our onboarding, without bringing them into the family early. We wanted them to feel very comfortable with the CFISD right away, because you know, if you make them feel comfortable and happy, because I remember when they used to sign the paperwork, we'd hear how angry my daughter was when she signed up, how much paperwork it was. Afterwards, we heard how pleasant it was from the people, so they enjoyed it. So we had an enjoyable new employee. We wanted to have them, and hopefully with bringing them into the family early, greater retention with the employees, right? That's what we're hoping for. So this is the end product that we have. And I told you a little bit about the vision that we have for our HR, for our newer hires. Now I'll let David take you back to the beginning of the project and then tell you the rest of the story. Some of us remember that, right?
Okay, you got it. I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? No, I got it.
Generation, right? Yeah. Thank you very much.
So I wanted to really start at the very beginning, and where we really started with this was with Sharita Franklin. She's our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources. She made it her board goal to see in what areas of human resources technology could be leveraged to create some more efficient processes. And we wanted to use current technologies, and we already had Laserfish. It's our electronic document storage. I know New Caney used it, but they walked out the door. Do you guys use Laserfish?
I think we do.
Aldi does.
Aldi does. Well, we use Laserfish, and we decided to start with onboarding. It's our new hire forms, our new hire paperwork, and once we officially made that our first process automation to fulfill this board goal for some efficient processing, we made a cross-functional team. And our team is comprised of members from our human resource team, from our payroll team, and from our technology team. We wanted to really have everyone that was hands-on in this process part of the team. So not only would this transform the way we onboard employees functionally, it'd also be more efficient as well. So in our initial meetings, we set some goals for ourselves. What did we really want to accomplish with this process automation? Of course, we wanted to save time. It took 20 minutes for a new employee to sit down and fill out all their new hire paperwork. And that's 20 minutes that you're not getting paid for yet, so that's a long time. And on the human resource side, it took about 40 minutes to onboard one employee. We hired 3,900 new employees a year. If that was one human resource person processing all of that paperwork, it would take them 65 full 40-hour weeks per year to do. I don't know about you guys' calendars, mine only has 52 weeks, so I wouldn't have enough time to do that. So we definitely wanted to save them time. That was an immense amount of time spent just on paperwork. Resources. With 3,900 new employees, there's 27 pages in a new hire packet. That's over 100,000 pieces of paper that we're collecting from our new employees. And so that's paper that we could save, that's some ink we could save. But it wasn't just paper. It's also folders, it's also files, it's also filing cabinets. If you come over to our district and walk around our human resource department, it's kind of a maze of file cabinets. And we kind of like to get rid of some of those and get our offices back. And money. Of course we wanted to save money. Any money that we could reallocate for other resources would be awesome, but we also wanted a quantifiable return on investment for what we were doing to fulfill this fourth goal. So let's talk about what it looked like for human resources. This is actually one of our human resource team members. This is Miss Susan Colt. And she doesn't look very happy in this picture, as you can see. She has a whole stack of folders under her elbow there. And what's in all those folders? Each one of those folders represents one new hire. So each one of those folders has 27 pieces of pages in it. And each one of those packets, she has to review, make sure every employee filled it out correctly, filled out every page they needed to fill out, make sure they didn't fill out too many pages. We'll talk about that in a minute. She had to take the pages that pertain to payroll, physically remove them, and walk them over to the payroll department to hand them over to somebody else for further payroll processing. She then had to take all the manual paper and scan it into Laserfish. So we took the paper and then made it digital. And so it was pretty manual, it's pretty time consuming, and also error prone. 3,900 different people. Have you guys ever tried to read 39 different handwritings? I'm sure the teachers in here have. It's pretty awful, and your handwriting doesn't get better as you get older, so kids' handwritings probably looks about the same as our new hires. I know mine's awful. I feel sorry every time Miss Culp has to read my handwriting. And I'm not saying it's ever happened to us, but with 100,000 pieces of paper, it might be easy to lose one. It gets lost in a stack of papers on someone's desk. It could get lost in the transfer to payroll. Not that that's ever happened.
Man, y'all lost a sheet of paper.
Oh, no.
So let's talk about our new employees. What did it look like for our new employees?
Yeah.
This picture might be a little bit staged. This is one of our assistant directors of human resources, Katie. But every piece of paper that she has sitting in front of her is a piece of our onboarding packet. So you can tell that looks like a little bit of a daunting task for her to fill out. And so first, being a new hire, you have to find a printer. I don't know if you guys still have printers at home, but I certainly do not. When I was onboarded with CFISD, I had to find a public place to print out my onboarding packet. And once I had this onboarding packet, this giant 27 pieces of paper, it seemed kind of a daunting task to have to fill it out. And tedious. I had to fill out my name, my signature, and date 9 different times throughout this paperwork. I had to fill out my address 5 times. And didn't I already give CFISD all this information when I applied? I mean, don't they already have this on me and I have to fill it out that many times in the same packet? It seems a little redundant and confusing. We gave them 2 pieces of paper. One was a payroll debit card form. One was a direct deposit form. We didn't really need both. We only needed them to fill out one. If they filled out both, we had to call them back and say, which way did you actually want to get paid? And so it was a little confusing, tedious, needed resources. So let's talk about how we made it better. Let's just jump right in and talk about automation, huh? So for human resources, we didn't just want to take the paper and make it electronic. That wasn't enough of an automation for us. We actually took the opportunity to reevaluate our entire onboarding packet. And so we took that packet down from 27 pages down to 7. So now our friend in human resources, Ms. Culp, she only has to review 7 pages. She doesn't have to go through all 27, only 7. So even just that, even just moving from 27 to 7 is a huge time savings for Ms. Culp to have to do. So even if it was paper, it's still already in a good place. But after automation, without, the paper, let's talk about what it looks like in human resources. Ms. Culp sends an email to the new employee. The new employee will get a link, fill out their forms digitally. As soon as they hit submit, Ms. Culp will get an email saying, hey, you have some new onboarding documents to review. And they're already populated in Laserfish. It goes instantaneously from the submit page, fills out some PDFs in Laserfish. We'll look at that a bit later.
I need to know how to do that.
We're gonna look at it in a minute to be really cool. But so it instantaneously goes to Laserfish. She can just review it straight on her computer, fill out one metadata field and close it, and it's automatically out of her queue. It's already routed to payroll. It's already routed to the employee's permanent personnel file. She's done. So that's beautiful for human resources, they love it. But what about the employees? Does it look better for the employees? This is the first page the employee will see when they open the link. And this is just the normal demographic stuff. I believe you guys remember me saying my name, my signature, and my date had to be filled out 9 times, my address 5 times. Well, we've reduced that down to 0. You don't have to type your name at all. You don't have to write your name at all. And how do we do that? Well, in the email that Ms. Culp sends to you when you get hired at our district, it has your employee number. You also fill out your social, and don't take any pictures of that. I use mine just for the example.
Thank you.
So, just for some added security, we didn't want you to be able to put in any employee number and information pop up. So as soon as you click out of that box, you entered your social correctly, all your information populates from our eFinance database. Because we already have this information from you from when you applied. You're already in our database. So we just pre-populate this form for you. It is editable if you've moved since you've applied. You can edit it, you can change your address, but you don't have to hardly fill out anything at all. It's mostly just review. Also the confusion. I talked about the payroll debit card form and the direct deposit form. Well, now we require you to pick one, but we only let you pick one. And based on what you pick here, there's a dynamic set of fields that pop up and you can only fill out the information that pertains to that form. So that's a lot of error reduction, a lot of confusion reduction on the employee side. So let's talk about how we met our goals. Did we meet our goals? Absolutely we met our goals. Hey, come on in. You're good. We're talking about onboarding. It's our new hire paperwork and how we automated it. So time savings. How much time did we actually save? Well, for our new employees, it took them conservatively about 20 minutes to fill out that 27-page packet. And now only takes them 5 minutes. So that's 5 minutes per employee just to fill out their paperwork. And you can do that from your phone. You can do that from your tablet. We've had people do that in their car on the way to their new employee sessions, not on the way in the parking lot while they're stopped. Yeah. So it's really that fast, it's that quick for them to do. And our human resources team, how much time do we save them? It was 40 minutes per new employee for Ms. Culp to do an onboarding session, and it was 65 weeks if that was one human resources person processing all this paper. We've reduced that down to 5 minutes per employee. So if this was one human resources person processing all this paperwork, it would only take them 8 40-hour weeks per year. And that sounds a little bit more doable than 65 weeks per year, wouldn't you say? So we've had an 80% time savings across the board. Resource savings. All of this is paperless. We don't collect paper from the employee. We do have one page, the I-9 form that they fill out when they come into their new employee orientation session to sign their contract. They do have to fill out their I-9. We are looking at ways to make that paperless, but so we saved 100,000 pieces of paper minus about 3,900 because that's how many new employees we had. And it's also files. We don't have to collect all those papers and files anymore, so our folder cabinets are getting a little thin, so hopefully we can get rid of some of those file cabinets when we really start getting into this. And money saving, the end goal. How much money did we actually save? Well, just that one employee, that one human resources employee, all the time we saved her moving from 40 minutes down to 5 minutes, we saved enough money to allocate one teacher per year. We saved $57,000 per year with this one process automation. I think that's a pretty good, yeah. So were there anything else? Were there any other benefits to this? Yes, absolutely there was. Hurricane Harvey just hit. We were out of the office for almost 2 full weeks. Our new teachers were about to start. They needed to get their first paychecks. Everyone needed to get their paycheck. A lot of people, it was their first one. This is our biggest pay run of the year, where we have to input all our new teachers, and we got to do that from home. Our human resources and payroll team completed 1,200 new hires from home who got paid on time in the middle of Hurricane Harvey. And that would not have been possible if this process was still on paper. So I'm going to take you guys through a walkthrough. After the slide, I'm going to play a video, and I want to show start to finish what this whole product really looks like. So we're gonna go through the digital form for the employee, what it looks like for them completely. We might not read everything we're agreeing to, not that our employees ever do that. But we're also gonna see what it looks like for our human resources team. I said it automatically went to Laserfish, we're gonna see what that actually looks like. So we're just gonna get right to this video here. So once you click the link from the email Ms. Culp sends, this is the first page you'll see. This is our landing page. Like Mr. May said, there's sci-fi imagery. We have our very center displayed at the top. We have navigational tabs. You enter your employee number from the email Ms. Culp sends you. You enter your social security number. Now look, I blanked it out this time. I got smart, huh? As soon as you click out of that box, all your information will populate from our eFinance database. You don't have to enter any of it. And so next we're just gonna go through all of our legal forms. Here you're gonna see you have to fill out your ethnicity. Some of them aren't required, you can just go to the next tab. You can see we have previous next buttons at the bottom as well as our navigational tabs at the top. This is the one that's kind of cool. This is the one where the information dynamically displays. We're gonna pick direct deposit, and all that information pertains directly to the direct deposit form. We populated the name and employee number because we already have that information from the first tab. We do need your bank account number, your bank name, your routing number, because we don't have that in our system already. So you have to fill out a little bit, it's not bad. Our W-4 form, this is something everybody should be familiar with. Everybody has to fill this out. What you're seeing here is an image. That's not actually fillable. The only information we're asking from you at the bottom is information we don't already have from other parts of the form. We do have a link here to the actual IRS W-4. If you do need a little bit more instruction, you need that second page of the W-4, we do include a link to it. I promise none of our employees do that, they read everything. So it looks like we actually forgot something. You can see there's this big bold red sentence there. It says you have not completed all required fields on the employee info tab. Since our tabs at the top are fully navigational, you can go right up and click the employee info tab and be taken right back to the employee info screen. You can scroll down to see what you missed. Here we missed our gender and our marital status. And you can go right back up to the top, go directly to the last page. And you're gonna assign your digital signature. Instead of actually signing, you're typing your name. You hit submit, and you're greeted with our congratulatory page. That's all it takes for a new employee to be onboarded to our district. You're now an employee, congratulations. So what we're gonna see next is from our human resources perspective. What does it look like for them? So Mrs. Culp has already got her email, and that's how long it takes for her to get my files. So once we open up this PDF here, you're gonna see it looks a little bit different than what the employee saw. That's because these are CFISD's official PDF forms that we need to see. These are the ones that our human resources team is used to seeing. As Ms. Culp's reviewing my document, make sure David Clark filled out everything correctly. The W-4 form here, I just wanted to show that we did actually fill out the name, the address, the social. We just already had that information from elsewhere in the form. So she's going to continue on, and of course David Clark filled out her application beautifully. Everything's done completely well. She barely has to review anything. Absolutely read everything she agreed to. And so now that we know it's done, she's going to enter a pay date, and this is going to be the date of my first check with the district. And as soon as she closes out of this box, it is automatically out of Ms. Culp's queue in Laserfish. It's already not there anymore. So it's already moved over to payroll. It's already moved to my personnel file in Laserfish. It's that easy, it's done. So that was our complete start to finish of our process automation of our new hire paperwork. Before I go into the future, do we have any questions? People like what they see? I know you guys came a little bit late. You catch up? Get what you're talking about? Yeah?
So if the forms that they're filling out online, they have to be filled out, they're, miss
Required.
something, the required fields or whatever, why does she review it?
Because you could enter Candyman for your name, and if she sent the email to John
Since
Smith,
you're just verifying.
she's
the
verifying that all
names.
your information is valid.
Okay.
And we are kind of new in this system, and at first I didn't make everything I needed to be required, and so there was a little bit, they didn't fill out their address, and it's like, oh, like I should go and make that required.
Right.
So at the point we're at now, there's not a lot of review.
Because it seems like so you're just verifying that
Mhm.
Yeah.
the name that you have is the name was put on the actual
Mhm.
document, because that uploads. And I want to get more deeper into that, how that transitions from that to your fish file.
Oh, yeah,
without
there's- we
scanning.
use
'Cause
laser-
Right now, we're still scanning.
We use Laserfish Workflow, it's still a Laserfish product.
And that's where the magic comes from. The huge savings that David
Yes.
talked about is on the back end process.
Yes, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Because it's good for the applicant. It's all about immersion
Right.
and retention, but the true savings is on the back end,
because we
absolutely.
do onboarding electronically.
Right.
We have all that. But we don't have the other side.
flow
Where
process.
it goes, transitions right to
Yeah.
the fish file, so it's already there. 'Cause
And
we
you-
have to scan all that in, then we have to match, it's just.
Aldine may need one module, but you have everything you need except maybe one module to do this.
And that would be the license.
The
up
flow.
to Avante.
Yeah.
You'll probably don't have Avante, y'all
Yeah.
probably have
But
the
he-
interior plan.
But I can give you my
We
card,
can talk
and
about
that's
that,
actually something I can show you. If you wanna
Okay.
jump on a phone call, I can show you what our back-end workflow looks like. And once you do it once, it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
first time we did it, it was a little bit complicated, it took a little bit of time, but every iteration we've done this, it gets easier, and
And Mark, we can jump on a Skype or a webinar or something with the tech guys
Yeah.
and your guys, and we can look through it. We can come out, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll come back out. It'll be fun.
I haven't seen your new office yet, so I want to come see you.
Road trip,
Come out, come hang out.
that's right.
you guys have anything else? Questions? You wanna talk about the future? Well, for Sci-Fair, the future's already here. We're already making our process better. Let's talk about our new employee orientation sessions. So after we send you this beautiful digital form, you filled out your paperwork digitally, you don't have to bring this giant packet to your orientation session anymore. You get here and you're greeted with a paper checklist on carbon copy paper that you have to fill out with a pen, and then our human resources team rips it apart and hands you one that you have to now keep up with. And they have to go back to their office and scan that into your file. So that just seemed like something that would really benefit from process automation. And this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. It should look a little familiar. This looks exactly like our onboarding forms. We use the same template. We use a little bit of the same thing with the autocomplete here. We'll put their employee number, and it pops up with their name and their date of their first check. The rest of the form is just a little checklist that's filled out on tablets that our human resources team has. And it's filled out by both the employee and the human resources team. But one thing that we do on this form that we don't do on onboarding, it's kind of cool, is we do an actual digital signature. Since these are tablets, these are touch screens, we can actually have you sign with the stylus, with your finger, however you want to sign. That's how I sign. I thought it was pretty good. So this is what it looks like at our employee orientation sessions. These are actual new employees of ours. They're signing their name, saying that they acknowledge that they're getting a personnel file. And Laserfish doesn't have Laserfish. Our human resources team doesn't have to collect the file papers anymore. They don't have to go back and scan. The new employee doesn't have to keep up with that one carbon copy piece of paper anymore because he wants to keep up with that. And so where else are we going? Future process automations. We want to tackle student registration. That might be a little bit of eyebrow raiser for some of the teachers in the room. I really hope that we can get to that. That sounds like something that'd be really fun to work with. Our transfers, our employee transfers, not student. We might do student transfers too. Our employee transfers, our 457B enrollment form. We're gonna do that one. That one's actually on my plate right now. It's sitting on my desk. I need to work on that one. And our resignations. So that's where we're going in the future, and that's Operation Onboard. Does anybody have any questions? You want to see anything else? Got any comments?
So what do you build a form with?
We actually
just
use-
coded, or is it?
We use Laserfish forms. We do a little bit of JavaScript and CSS in the background to make it pretty, but most of the functionality is out of the box Laserfish forms. And if you have the Avanti license, that comes with forms and workflow and everything, you really need to do this automation.
I was kind of wondering, like, cause I do like student council, and then in my old job, I put together a database where, it would send all the special programs, like all the modifications to the teachers via who they had, first period, second period, you know. And so just, yeah, so I look for it as like, how can I use that? Like student council, we just got through using just Google Forms
Yeah.
to vote for homecoming, you know, court and stuff. And then it's
And
just,
with
it's, I
that-
was kind of wondering what, like, some of this software is.
Yeah, well, it's really workflow. And we did connect our e-finance database. I don't know if you guys use Power School.
Yeah, I don't know in that.
Oh, yeah, that's the other side. Yeah, that's right.
I just look for ideas.
But really, you should be able to connect any database you have with this. And in the workflow, there is functionality to write to a database as well as pull from. I only showed the pulling from in the form. You can also write to. We haven't got a lot into that in our district yet, but that's something we're looking
That's your
into.
project.
That's my next project.
Yeah, it's like decent, a lot of our stuff is online, and then what I really hate is that there's an online thing, but you can't get it offline, so you have to print it to put it back online.
Yeah, we first did a professional, and then we went to our sub-office, we did that's our last one, we did paraprofessional.
We did professionals,
In the
paraprofessionals.
sub-office.
So our hourly employees are still a little on paper.
Yeah, they're on paper right now, but we're gonna fix that, so that's our next process as well. If we have like 4 outlying hourly, payroll processing outside the district, outside the other buildings, outside of our main building where we work right now. So everybody has their own little bit of paperwork, like transportation is gonna have their certain paperwork for them, and operations will, for their certification, for their electricians, and stuff like that. So each department's gonna be a little bit different, but we use this as our base product. And then all we do is David just takes it and starts adding the pieces they need in there. But our base product's already been developed on their professional side. So each one of them gets them progressively quicker and quicker. We thought subs would be a lot faster, but actually subs added more paperwork than we thought. So they actually added additional, I was like, yeah, right.
Cause I'm over subs and. I'm
Yeah,
like,
Oh,
so
yeah, you
we
know.
thought it was gonna be simple. We thought we could take the professional
No,
form and that would be everything, but it
there's like
turned out
6 of them
not.
forms in
We've
this.
learned a lot from this process. We've learned a lot more than I think from them than they've learned from
Cause I
us.
just think of things like, you know, you have the kids sign a syllabus, you have the kids sign, like, use of iPads, you know, in your room and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
And see, there's
Wow.
and how I could do it with the kids.
I mean, if you just had like a tablet in your office and had a digital form of the acknowledgement, they could just sign it. And we keep ours in our electronic document storage system. I don't know if you guys have something like that.
We use open text.
I mean, all we use, right, like all the school has for us is like Google, like Google
Okay.
Forms and
So
stuff.
like all your paper forms, you don't keep them digitally?
You know, just keep all your stuff in files.
Yeah, just be well, on Google Drive, you can put it, you know, you could jump in there. That's like all we use now.
Cause that's the cool part of Laserfish also, that's the main product is their repository where you can keep all your electronic documents. And so that's really what I think Laserfish started as, was
Sort
a
of
digital
specialized
filing
records.
cabinet.
And then it grew to HR. We've actually scanned every single HR document. We don't have our retrievers, as they were called. We had 4 of them in the HR area. They've all been pulled out. We've emptied every one of them. We've got something like 6 or 8 million documents now in Laserfish from HR alone, including other images as well. We even have our blueprints and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We do our
That's how we get
special
our-
ed.
Yeah, oh yeah, special ed, yes.
Special ed went
That's where it
to
started.
Eduphoria, so like that was part of my job is the art people would scan it and then I'd send it to.
Wow.
The art paperwork.
Art. Yeah.
Well, the principal wanted it broken down for teachers.
Sure.
So it was just the services, just, you know, was certain, not the whole like art.
And what school are you
So it
at?
broke it down. Well, that was at Shepherd.
Okay,
And then,
got you.
I don't know, it just gives me ideas.
It does.
So CFISD is doing a overall paperless initiative, and this is one of the most obvious because every new employee, we can hire 3,900, every new employee sees this. We're doing staff development paperless now, so when you clock into staff development, you use a tablet. When you go to the assistant principal's office, we're developing an app you check in digitally there, and it's going to database it and send an email over to the attendance clerk to say, hey, you know, Johnny's not absent. Johnny's really in the assistant principal's office. So the attendance clerk can change absence to a present, or, you know, with a note to AP or whatever. So we're
That'll be digitally.
it'll all be digitally, because right now they sign in.
Yeah, it's
Still
just,
with their badges.
it's just, yeah.
And you know, at the high school, our high schools are large. We have 12 6A high schools now, and you may go get called at the principal's office and never see a principal that whole period, and be sent to the next period without seeing a principal. And nobody knows where you are except that sheet of paper.
Right.
So when mom calls, they're looking for the kid. Nobody knows where the kid is.
Because they got marked absent.
Exactly.
Johnny's skipping, is Johnny not here?
So Johnny's getting a beating when he gets home.
They get, you know, they get a text or emails or whatever.
So we're working with all areas of the district to bring in paperless initiatives like that as well.
Yeah.
That's good, because even like when your kids come in late, you have to stop and email.
We're working with that as well. We're working with Tardy Calculator. Do you know that app, Tardy Calculator? We're working with that app to catch them in the hall. They issue a hallway pass right there from their belt clip. They scan their badge and it prints up on a printer on their belt clip, and then we're working with them to send that data straight to the attendance clerk to get them tardy and send the kids straight on to class. So the kid's not losing instruction time when they walk to you know how big this building is, right? All the way to their front office and all the way back here to their classroom. We send them straight to the classroom, get learning. We'll handle the paperwork digitally.
But would this be like somebody actually scanning, or is it a machine that just scans?
It's somebody. They do a tardy sweep.
Okay, yeah, they do.
They'll do tardy sweep.
It's on their phone. Click, click, click.
Yep, it's on their phone.
Okay.
And they actually have a little Bluetooth printer that clips their belt. If you haven't seen it, it's phenomenal. A Bluetooth printer, talk about future, that prints out a ticket, hands the ticket to the kid goes to class, gives the teacher the ticket. Attendance clerk gets an email. They can go change the tardy. I mean,
That's efficient though.
well, it's all about instruction time, right? If it's test day or, God forbid, star day, right? You want them in that seat as comfortable and quick as possible. That's what it's truly about.
See, ours gets the kid in there, but tangles the teacher up, writing the email to, you know, and that doesn't take that long, but you were doing something.
Yeah. So our teacher gets a pass.
Discipline or-
But the pass is just let the kid in the classroom saying this is where he's been. The teacher just throws that away, puts it in her folder, whatever, because everything's flowing electronic to the front office. The kid's accounted for, everybody knows where they are. Teacher gets on with her job, kid gets on with their job. It's really
And that's
masterful.
Tardy Calculator that does that?
Yeah, that's who we're working with now.
And being a parent though, it's like that. Student.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Graduate 2 years from Salt Lake, and then I have one next year going into South Parks.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, Cy Parks is,
Oh my God.
Have you seen that?
Oh my God. My fifth grader did a graduation there, and so that was the first time.
Beautiful.
We drove by there a lot of times.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Have you seen Bridgeland High School yet?
I have not.
4 stories.
4.
The high schools.
It opened this year with 9th and 10th grade, of course.
Right.
4 stories. The academic wing is 4 stories. Absolutely.
But I know South Parks is beautiful.
It is
'Cause my kids
absolutely.
were going to Salt Lake, but then they rezoned, so they'll go to South Parks.
And they have an exceptional principal. He is wonderful there.
All right, awesome.
throw it at us.
Yeah.
See what happens.